This is normally supposed to be like a deal presentation session. If anyone had deals, I apologize. This would have been the time to obviously display, because sometimes there's some pretty hefty buyers in here. They're looking, especially now, investors are hungry for investor-worthy properties. Okay. Let's go into some announcements and intro. We are capturing some video back here. Okay. So, and also, by the way, if you want to record this stuff yourself, be my guest. We've got cameras, you got audio recorders. I mean, unless the speaker specifically says no, okay, I don't care if you do or not, okay? I like recording myself. Liability disclosure, this is all I'm gonna get to first. As far as I know, nobody, is anyone here a realtor, licensed real estate agent? Okay, we have a couple here who are qualified to talk officially about real estate, okay? My license has been inactive for over 10 years, so I can't say as I'm technically qualified. As far as I know, there's no licensed attorneys or financial planners in here. So if you question now, well, I can tell you, or Jason for that matter, okay? You're licensed as a realtor? Okay. So we can only tell you what's worked for us from a practical standpoint and what hasn't, okay? We're not supposed to be advising you on legal or financial stuff technically, okay? If you question the legal or financial wisdom of anything you hear at this meeting, then, or anyone else actually, seek qualified help. Technically, we're not it. Okay, now that being said, I'll tell you this, my experience, real estate law is not enforced well in South Carolina at all. Okay, I'm not telling you that to go out and hose people over. I'm telling you that so you don't get hosed. You might have some realtors or maybe a wholesaler, another investor try to say, I can't do that, it's illegal. Yeah, right. Okay, don't trust them. Keep your guard up. Second thing, attorneys are monitored very strictly in South Carolina. When you find attorneys that you like to work with, because not all of you, you'll find out you don't want to work with all of them. They'll mess you up, okay? Protect them. I have some attorneys who I like to work with because they'll do the creative stuff for me that most other attorneys won't, okay? And I will protect them. I'd rather take the fall first personally. So, however, if you have an attorney who's hounding you and harassing you, I had some several years ago. They actually pushed the seat on me. Remember, the Commission on Lawyer Conduct is a very powerful phrase. It's like an organization they're really scared of. Okay, so if you need to get an attorney off your back, just threaten them with that. But like I said, you'll probably never talk to them again. Okay, Midlands REIA goals. I'd like to have some more workshops. In fact, I think Jason might be putting one together himself. Okay, more subgroups. Now be wary. Have you noticed that tax lien code people are coming back to town? I see that popping up on Facebook. Yep. I think their mentoring starts at like 25,000. Okay, be wary of people who say that's okay. Put on your credit card. Do a couple deals and you'll pay it off. That rarely happens. Okay. Tax lien code people are typical. They come to town, and let's face it, they're coming in from, I think, Arizona. They don't know anything about South Carolina laws. They're giving you a general overview for your 25,000. I live in a house just down the road, about 3.5 miles away. It's on a 3-bed, 2-bath house on 0.41 acres of land. I got for $9,500. Okay, now that being said, 25,000, I could buy 2 of those. Okay, so I'm not going to pay some guru coach 25,000. If you do, though, some people do need that. Make sure that guru, coach, or mentor has survived at least one major recession like 2007, 2008, holding real estate. Believe me, they have lessons for you that the new gurus who haven't suffered through such a thing will know about. Midlands REIA goal is to greatly increase success rate affordably to at least 50%. Okay, we're not going to charge you like $25,000 or whatever. For beginners, we want to get you up and running independently from anyone else as soon as possible, even independently from us. We like to keep you long-term, but we understand your situation changes. You may move in another state, maybe you can't. But at least we'd love to help you get started. For advanced investors who stay here, we want to provide the best continuing resources possible. Okay. Like for example, I'm foreclosing on somebody down in Elkins. Okay. The default on the mortgage was back in 2010. I started foreclosure in 2019, 9 years later. In South Carolina, you have 20 years to foreclose on a defaulted mortgage, but some old codger, the defendant's attorney, he brought up something called latches. So this is holding up my foreclosure now. The latches is if you purposely delay a foreclosure so you benefit more. Okay, that's LACHES, by the way. Okay, I didn't know that existed, but now I do, and now you do. Okay, so moral of the story is if you have to foreclose on somebody, do it quickly. Don't just wait like 9, 10 years. And I want to emphasize for beginners, we want to get you up and running independently from anyone else as soon as possible. This is an example of why you don't need a $25,000 coaching program. Anthony and Eugene, we went through our initial introductory Zoom, and this is literally about 2.5, now this is unusual, but it happened. This is about 2.5 weeks later, I got a call from Anthony saying that they had a property under contract, and how do you know, they had to go through the mechanics of wholesaling. And it turns out they're selling to one of the big hedge funds, and they don't do assignments. Okay, so I said, you got to double close that. But they didn't have the money to double close it. So we used something, I said, look for transactional funding. And I called a transactional lender, a local one. Okay, and they ended up closing it. And in the end, now obviously they split it, but they pocketed $20,809.94. Obviously, since it's Eugene and Anthony, they split it. Okay. Anyway, no $25,000 or $30,000 coaching program for that. Just $10 in earnest money. All right. How does a good, clever association help? Hopefully, we, as well as any other good ones, hopefully offer an abundance of resources, provide great networking with the best training possible, which, by the way, Eddie back there is instrumental on giving us the best training. He knows the cutting edge of contracting laws and ordinances. Always seek to improve and adapt. If you can think of anything that maybe we should add, please let us know. If we can make it happen, we'll make it happen. Learn and teach best practices for local investing. If you said, how do I close this deal in North Carolina or Georgia? I'm going to say, no, I'm not. I can give you generalities, but details, no. South Carolina, I know. Okay, so that's what I mean by local. So you see some national gurus, be wary of what they're selling. Find out where they're out of. If you have suggestions how to improve, please let us know. Maybe workshops, some topics you'd like to cover. In fact, I was just telling Kathy back there, I'd like to maybe hold something on syndication, what to watch out for, some warning signs, red flags. Subgroups, if you can think of subgroups that maybe we can add. We are on the major social media sites, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. However, at the very least, I want you to go to our website and click that link there. That goes right to our Facebook group, and there's a decent amount of deals as well as unofficial tips again, because remember, not many people are licensed. They give you unofficial tips. So hopefully you'll join that and maybe also be able to contribute to the knowledge base of that. Okay, if you join Midlands REIA, we start you off with a live introductory training on finding deals. Now, we start you off basically an introductory Zoom. Now that being said, it doesn't have to be your only Zoom. Your membership is an annual membership. You can always call me back up and say, hey, let's Zoom on this, cover this topic here if you can. Okay? So even though it's just an introductory Zoom, it doesn't have to be the only one. Right? That's up to you how many you want. And also, what time? I don't have a job. If you want to Zoom at 3 a.m., you say that. Anyway, finding deals, we cover finding deals from free local sources with and without relying on realtors. There's a probate company, I think it's called US Probate, and they're trying to get Midlands REIA to sell probate liens for almost $3 a lead, and they may or may not contain real estate. We can get that for free. I'm not going to try to sell you something we get for free. Obviously, we would have gotten a commission for it, but to me, that's not right. Conventional methods for finding deals. Obviously, a good investor's realtor. Okay, maybe Zillow, things like that. Now, certain things on Zillow. Everyone's looking at the pretty looking houses, the good looking houses on Zillow. But what if you were to search for, say, just cash purchases only? That might indicate a possible title problem with the property. That's what I'm looking for. for? I'm looking for stuff that nobody else wants, okay? And if you can figure out an economical way to fix it, there's your payday. I got it going. If we had time, I'd go into the story of that one quiet title I did down in Aiken. And it came out $15,000 from me because I did the quiet title. That's all you had to do, okay? Less conventional methods for finding deals. I like to look for the chaos and profit, and chaos slash profit, okay? I taught 3 semesters of physics at one of the local universities because I thought I might want to get back into college teaching. And the guy who hired me was arrested on a serious charge. So the first thing I did was I sent him a We Buy Houses postcard, and sure enough, he called me, okay? Like, if you get mug shots in the Midlands, has anyone seen those? Searching mug shots in the Midlands of people who've been arrested. Search to see if they own real estate, and then hit them up to see if they want to maybe sell. Maybe they need money for bail or whatever. Okay, get them out of their trouble. What information is needed to be able to make an intelligent offer? I'll tell you this verbally. You need to know what do they want, how much is it worth, how much in repairs is needed, and mortgage loan information. At a bare minimum, you need those 4 pieces of information. Otherwise, I don't think you can make an intelligent offer. Okay. And our initial introductory webinar, I say, is about 2 to 3 hours long. When I set aside an introductory webinar, if you want, we can have 8 hours. I've had people go over 4 hours because there's so many questions. Okay. So I say 2 to 3 hours. Anyone else can put up there. Okay. That gives you kind of an idea. And actually, the one member who joined, he had a hard stop at 2 hours. So we made it 2 hours. Okay. That's up to you. Okay, we provide basic training and tools to succeed. Now, this is the most important step here. You must take consistent and persistent action. Okay, we're not coaches or mentors. We're more like reference librarians. Okay, if you have a question with contracting, Eddie's your reference librarian in the contracting section. Okay, if you have questions about maybe how to scare attorneys, I'd be your guy. Okay, but we're not going to coach you and say like, okay, get up, build your team, that kind of crap. We provide support as needed. I mentioned we're reference librarians more than anything, in my opinion. Okay, Midlands REIA members get discounts on Midlands REIA trainings and workshops. When someone internal like Eddie or myself holds it, lots of times the workshops can be free. Okay, if we have an external speaker talking about, because we'll have occasionally external speakers, the price is dictated by them. Okay, so we don't have any control of that. But there's a couple benefits with regards to price. Access to members area with local cash buyers list, documents, videos, et cetera, okay? I would say the local cash buyers list, I'll tell you this right now. Has anyone gone to a Lexington County foreclosure sale? Okay, have you noticed the winning bidder has to give their phone number? You notice that? Instant cash buyer, okay? Like other foreclosure sales, you might have to network and say, oh, what's your phone number? You have it right there, okay? About 1/3 of this list is from the Lexington County foreclosure sales. The other ones, there's people I've done business with, maybe I wholesale the house to, et cetera, okay? So no one can, in fact, the foreclosure sales are every first Monday at 11 o'clock up at that main courthouse. And so I hope to see some of you there. Closed guidance for deals, and again, it's Midlands REIA only, not nationally, okay, just local stuff, South Carolina stuff. And a few other things. Please see our website for details if you're interested. Yearly membership is $125 a year for one person, $200 for a couple, and that gives website, members area, as well as ongoing support. Basically, reference librarian support, if you will. Okay. And please subscribe for updates. We'll keep you updated to meetings, workshops, and whatnot, okay?
John, that question.
Yes?
Go back to that last slide.
This one?
Oh, yeah, you may want to talk before about the meeting days.
Oh, okay. We changed this to every second. John's right. Okay, it used to be every second Tuesday. We changed it to every second. We actually changed it to every second Thursday. But the problem is the Ice House Amphitheater has a lot of stuff going on Thursdays. So parking was always tight. So we make it Wednesdays. I hope that's okay. Every second Wednesday from now on. So this, thank you, John. This is going to be every second Wednesday. Okay. And by the way, I'll mention it again. We're not having a meeting in December. Okay, that's kind of a Christmas thing. So we're gonna, the first meeting is going to be the second Wednesday in January, 2026. A few announcements. As I meant, okay. Friend of mine, Karen G. Does anyone know Karen? She's actually one of our private lenders we like to tap into. In fact, I like to co-lend with her. Okay. She has some pretty deep pockets for what Jason's going to talk about tonight. Okay. But she did a lot of knitting. Okay. If you decide the proceeds from this, we're going to go to, she said an orphanage. I assume it's going to be everywhere. I don't know any other orphanages. Okay. If you decide that you want a hat or a scarf, I got one of the hats myself, very comfortable. Okay. Then please consider getting one. It's $5 for each one of those, whatever. And if you do purchase a hat or a scarf, there's a list back. If you could, please put your name, email, and phone number on that list. Okay. But anyway, so just a thought. Anyway. Okay, as I mentioned, there's no meeting for association next month. Okay. Our first one's going to be January 14th, second Wednesday, same time, 6:30 p.m. All right. Again, please subscribe for regular notices and updates. We'll send out like email blasts and whatnot, okay? Palmetto Real Estate Pros radio show. Okay, Chad and Larry Jordan are the owners and brokers in charge of the Palmetto Real Estate Group of South Carolina on Route 1, okay, as you're heading towards Columbia. They're actually a really good group. In fact, Chad is probably the most creative broker I've seen in a long time. I was delivering from Meals on Wheels once, and I saw a sign out there. It said, owner finance, lease option, or something like lease with option to buy, or something like that. And I called the sign's number. It's Chad. I've never seen a broker actually put out his own sign for rent-to-owns or lease options. So the radio show, if you decide you want to get on, I suggest you get on early, because Chad also reads like local statistics of what's going on in the area. He gives you an idea what the market's doing. Anyway. If you go to online at palmettorealestatepros.com, you can listen to the radio show every Friday at 9 a.m. Or you can listen on the radio at 100.7 FM or 1470 AM if you're driving. The next show is actually 2 days from now, the 14th at 9 a.m. 1 million cups. Well, you say kind of what it's sure, okay? Our head organizer is Tara Morosky. She runs Harcourts Carolinas, another brokerage. But we just had a meeting, in fact, this morning. This was a really good meeting, because the speaker was a gentleman, 42 patents to his name. And he had patents. He used to work as a contractor for the Department of Defense. And he has patents on weapons that injure and kill people. And now he's developing like a supercapacitor to take the place of batteries, as well as some health-related stuff. Okay, so anyway, so we had a really good talk there, so consider going to this. We have another one next week, but the following week is Thanksgiving, so the week after next week, there will be 1 million cups. Okay. Anyway, consider going to this. It's a great place to meet people as well. Special needs parents. Tara Morosky again. She formed a group that normally meets every fourth Thursday of the month. However, because of the holidays, okay, we meet at Tiffany's Sweets, Eats, and meeting place. I need glasses. Anyway, but because of the holidays, okay, no November, December meeting. Our first meeting will be 2026 will be the fourth Thursday of January 22nd. Okay, so if you have a special needs child, or you know somebody who does, or not just a child, but an adult also, consider referring them to this group, okay, where they share resources and stuff. You got that? Okay, again, Tara Morris. Tara is a networking wizard. She has a Northeast Women in Business group that meets at, do you know where Sand Hills is, the Sand Hill Shopping Area? Okay. Every first Thursday of the month. The next meeting will be December 4th, the first Thursday of December. She will not have one in January because of New Year. Okay, but no one can consider going to this one if you want to network with some women who are really making things happen. No January meeting. Okay, please check our calendar of events regularly. We try to keep it up to date as much as possible. And I didn't know about the meeting cancellations and moving around until later today, so I gotta make some changes on the calendar, but it's usually pretty accurate, okay? Okay, tonight's speaker is Jason Elkins. Okay, Jason is a real estate investor. Eddie and I actually looked at a house we wholesaled with somebody. He's a security professional. He's a founder of Warriors of Wealth. And he's also the founder of Carolina Capital Home Buyers, which does a good amount of flipping and whatnot. Okay, so if it's okay, can we welcome Jason to talk about private lending?
Sir.
Lasers in the middle, back, forward, lasers in the middle. Look at my water so I can keep on talking while we're going. Changed up. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. I'm glad that you could come in and with the cold outside. It's really cold. So, you know why you're here tonight. You're asking yourself, you know, what is the investor's secret weapon? What is it? Well, I'm here to tell you now that it is private lending, but done the right way. Okay? I'm Jason Elkins. Again, Bob introduced me. I'm with Carolina Capital Home Buyers, helping sellers move on and lenders move up. So, you know, ask yourself this question, what can I do if I don't have to lend any money or I lend money? Well, first, a disclaimer. Bob did this at the beginning, but I always have to do it. Disclaimer, right? This is all for educational purposes. Please carefully consider my objectives, Carolina Capital Home Buyers' objectives when it comes to any investment. I don't care what the investment is. You always want to consider those objectives for it. Any costs, don't let anybody tell you that there's not a cost associated with an investment. Ask anybody who invests on the other side of it. There is a cost. Real estate investments are not guaranteed, and past performance is not a guarantee of future performance, so please ask a lot of questions. Please educate yourself, ask a lot of questions, more information before considering any investment. I am not, Carolina Capital Home Buyers is not, none of my affiliates are any kind of law or tax firm professional, so if you don't provide legal advice, go to those professionals for that, right? I can give you things from my perspective, my education, and my experience, right? But reach out to those professionals for that. The materials in the presentation are for your general guidance and informational purposes. Okay, very good. A little bit of background about me. You see it says protect, lead, and build. I've spent my life, my career, in really 3 lanes, okay? Security, martial arts, and real estate. You might be thinking to yourself, well, what is that? How can that matter here? Well, in security, it's all about, you know, protecting people and property and using systems, right? In martial arts, it's all about discipline and structure and patience that go along with it. And the real estate side of things, well, I learned about not only just building houses and renting houses and flipping houses, I learned about building wealth and legacy. So all of those things that are really important. Now, these worlds for me kind of collide and put it all together when it comes to private lending, because you want protection, you want leadership, and you want structure when it comes to private lending. So I have a question for everybody here before we go any further. What if your money was able to work harder than you do every single day? Who wants that? Who wants their money to work harder than you do every single day? Who wants their money busted? I mean, you should have that. Raise hands up, going on. Who wants your money busted every single day, right? I know I do. I love this slide. This is one of my favorites. From hustle to control. You know, most people chase wealth through a lot of hustle, right? That's just all that energy, all that run on that treadmill. They're flipping houses, right? They're managing tenants. They're juggling side gigs to just make all that mesh together. I bet Uber drivers, yeah, I'm chasing my dream while I've got this thing going on. And I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong with hustle. Gotta have it. But man, doesn't it wear you out? Doesn't it wear you down? So, and again, nothing wrong with hustle, but it just wears you out with that. So, the real key here, though, isn't hustle. It's control. Okay? It's control over your outcomes. It's control over your capital. It's control over your time. Right? What's the most valuable thing that you have on the planet right now? Your time. Nobody can ever get that back for you. Okay? So, think about that. But with private lending, we'll build a structure that kind of goes around that so you can gain back that control. That's what we want. We want to gain back all the control with that. Gotta make sure the slides coming back. So let's talk about what private lending is and some confusion about what it may be down the path. So private lending is a flexible partnership where capital is secured by a property, a real property, something that you can touch. You know, when you're lending money, you want to have something that you can have it backed by. Right? You can't do that with a stock. Who's been in the stock market and watched it plummet? Who can touch a stock? Anybody here touch a stock? I've never touched a stock in my life. But it goes up and down and in and out all the time. I go touch a house. I don't care what condition it is. Now you can use this private lending to a quick, fun, short-term project, like fix and flip or rehab, get into it. Or you can use a long-term lending so that you have a note that's fully amortized over 60 months. So it's paying you every single month over 60 months. So you have that longer deal on it. You know, in essence, what you're really looking for is you want to be the bank, right? Who in here would love to be the bank? This is what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about how to be the bank. Okay. You know, either way you look at it, though, for being the bank has, if they have to foreclose, they've got first lien position, they're going to get their money back. That's what we want to protect ourselves. Private lending versus hard money. Before we get into hard money, think about, somebody tell me what they think hard money is. Who wants to volunteer some information? Who can tell me what they think hard money is? You go ahead now? Go ahead.
Private money is not a bank, but can invest in or lend to assets banks can.
Okay. All right, anybody else? How much does hard money cost?
60%.
It's expensive. It's expensive, right? Because it'll take a lot of risk. Hard money, you know, there are hard money lenders that are just people, but a lot of the hard money lenders are institutions, right? They're institutional. I know several in the state of South Carolina, they're institutions. They're rule driven. A lot of pressure, a lot of deadlines. When are you going to complete? You got a deadline coming up. You know, a lot of pressure there. Rule driven. You see that 12 to 18% plus points. So that's not uncommon. Who in here has got a hard money loan before? What was your percentage rate?
Like 12 or 14%.
And then what did you pay in points?
I don't even remember. I wanted got it out as quickly as possible.
You got out of so
And that's how I learned how to become the investor.
there you go. Very good. A round of applause. Yeah, and a lot of it's transactional mindset. They're trying to get in and recycle that capital. And nothing wrong with it. But it's usually a short term. It's usually going to be a short term thing. It's not going to be a long term. Whereas private lending is more relationship based, right? Somebody I can trust, somebody I can get to know. It's flexible. It's still 18, it's usually about 8 to 14%, but you notice there's no points on there. It's got a partnership mindset with it. So we're thinking about win-win here. We're thinking about, if I get a partner, I'm going to take care of my partner. I want my partner to take care of me. It can be short or it can be term. Now, partnerships are great and trusting is great, but we also want structured safety that goes along with this. So there are 4 key documents up here that I want you to pay attention to. There's first is the mortgage, or deed trust, depending on where you're at, what you're doing, gives you that first lien position. Your promissory note, that's going to outline the terms of the loan. What's your percentage rate? How long is it? What are you borrowing at? Your title insurance, as Bob pointed out in one of my presentations, there are 2 kinds of title insurance that he's learned about. There is the borrower side and there's the lender side, right? The borrower owns the side of the title insurance. So as a lender, you want to make sure that you have title insurance because there's no encumberment, no entanglement, that if you ever have to go foreclose on that property for whatever reason, you're not going to have a challenge because of some tax lien that was not there before. Property insurance, you want to protect your collateral because something's going to happen. We hope it doesn't, but that's why we have insurance. Make sure your collateral is protected and you are named, you're the lender, you are named in the first person that's going to be paid out now. Because all these documents right here, they're going to turn risk into structure, and that structure is going to give you the confidence of the deal. All right. Everybody get this one so far? Questions?
I asked the question.
Yes.
They say that the has to be in your name, the previous slide, the property insurance in your name becomes your name.
You are the beneficiary, so you're listed as, so if there's a claim against that property,
Yeah.
and you're the lender, and let's say it burns down.
Okay,
It burns down. You get paid first.
right, okay, but can it be, does it have to be your personal, could it be in the name of an LLC?
If you're, however you're lending it at. If you're lending to another LLC, then that's whoever that lending company is, and you want to make sure they get paid out first.
Okay,
Okay. Because we want to get your capital back, right? Reduce the risk. Now here, I want you to picture a lending spectrum. Okay. Lending spectrum. On the one side, we've got hard money. When we talk about hard money, it's hard, it's high rates, it's strict terms, it's quick exit. They want to recycle capital because they're going on the next thing, right? And on the other side, we've got the more traditional banks. Traditional banks tend to be slower. They tend to have a lot of bureaucracy. They tend to have a lot of red tape, so they get a little slower. Whereas right here in the middle, we've got private lending. It's more flexible, it's more secure, it's relationship-based, and it's a partnership that you're having. And that's where private lending really bridges this gap here between the hard money and traditional banks. It's where you have that combined flexibility, that security, and consistent terms. Okay. Let's go look at short-term private lending. I like to think about this as the fast lane. This is what this is for the short-term lending. What happens in the fast lane? Well, we're going to fund the loan. Usually about 6 to 12 months. We're going to fund it. It's usually going to be for a rehab project. Something the money's going to be tied up for a short amount of time. And then we're going to hit this one part where we're waiting on to get our money back. We're waiting on the house to sell. Right? I'm waiting on the borrower to refinance before I get my capital back. Can anything go wrong at that point in time? Can anything go wrong before you even get to that point in time? Okay. So, but after it's all done, if everything goes great, sweet, then I get to recycle my capital, right? So if we look at this example, say a $100,000 loan at 12% plus a couple of points for about 6 months, you can make somewhere around $7,000 for doing it. And then you can, if you're an active investor, you can pop it into the next deal that you qualify. Right? But you always want to go through qualification. Short-term lending is great because it offers velocity. And I think of it as just cash flow cardio, right? You got to be in it. You got to be active. You got to be checking on it, right? It's quick returns, but it's active. Now look at the long-term private lending. So you're looking at $30,000. So $30,000 in principal. So we're going to be collateral backed, so that's that property, that house. And we're going to be paying out, instead of like at the end, or interest along the way, a balloon, we're going to be paying out $667 every single month off of that. You can put in 30 and you're starting to get your money back. Think of it like a car payment. Right? You go buy a car, you got to pay the bank back every single month. You're the bank. So, and at the end of it, that $30,000, well, now it's 40. And you got that 40 over 60 months. And that's a 33% ROI for that money that was doing a whole lot of nothing, just sitting there. So for this loan, again, this example is $30,000, 12% amortized, 60 months, 667. It's actually 667.33. You gotta count your pennies, right? And it'll get you over $40,000 back. It's actually $40,040 that comes back. I love math, by the way. And this is predictable, right? It's monthly. It's secure. You got property, and it's passive. There's not this. This is steady lane. This is not that cash flow cardio that we got going on, right? And that's what we want. Long-term lending builds that stability, that consistent monthly income that's fully secured by real property. Okay, let's look at some of the lending structures. Short-term lending, we talked about a little bit. The duration is usually 6 to 12 months. It could be a little less, depends on the pressure that's there. That's the other thing about pressure. A lot of hard money lenders, you can tell me where I'm wrong, don't like their money to be out very long, so 6 months might be a long time. Right? 6 months might be a long time. Most of the time the payment's going to be interest only with a balloon at the end. Right? It's going to pop at the end. It may be that all of it, depending on what's negotiated, is at the end, and your capital's kind of stuff, and that's okay. Return, quick payout, so at the end of that, when the property sells, that you pay out back, plus what you've got going on. Risk, let's talk about risk. Market, why would that be a risk? Why would the real estate market be a risk?
Right. By the time you're ready to sell it, it could be it's not your market.
It's right now a great time to sell a house. Where's my realtors at? not a great time to sell a house. Not a great time. Crash. We're talking about crash. This is what the market does, right? All over the United States. Project delays. Who's ever had, not even if you've done real estate before, who's ever had a home project take a really long time, more than you ever thought it was going to take? Right? Who's ever had a project that cost them a lot more money than you thought it was going to take? All right, for my real estate investors here, my flippers, who has lost money in an investment that they thought they had all the numbers on? Yeah? Right? You can build in a contingency fund, 20, 25%, all you like. You think you got it. I got Eddie down there. He's inspected the house. He thinks it's good. We bust open the wall. Oh boy. So there's that risk. But there's still this ideal for the short-term lending for active investors, right? You're active, you're in it, you got it. Long-term lending, a little bit different, 35 years. It's a fully amortized monthly payback, right? That's again, it's coming at you every single month. You're not waiting till the end. You know, interest only, it's principal and interest. Return pattern, it's that steady income that's coming back, right? Whether that's coming back into your checking account or coming back into the self-directed IRA or whatever investment vehicle you have. Your risk there is your borrower's performance. You want to always vet who you're working with. We're talking about that trusted relationship a little bit, that partnership that we want. You've got to have that trusted relationship. Okay? And it's good for somebody who's a passive income. Maybe I don't like the cardio, but I don't mind going for a walk. Right? Yeah. So I don't have to worry about that quite as much. I still want to monitor it, trust verify. Still don't monitor it. So short-term lending, that's that velocity, long-term is stability, and you just kind of figure out, if you're on one side of it or the other side, or maybe you want both, right? You want a mixture. 3 ways, this is not all the ways, this is just 3 ways, to fund a private loan. Cash or savings is probably the easiest, best way to start with cash because it's liquid. That is actually how one of my first properties in the Midwest that I bought, I pulled money, about 30,000. I just sold a house, had capital. I needed to get that capital to work. Bought a house in Peoria, Illinois. I put it to work, pulled in the money. That was an easy one for me. HELOC, that would be the next one. If you got to put your money to work, money has got to be moving. If money's not moving, it's not making money. That's just the way it is. It's like we all are. We got to be moving. If you've got idle equity, let's say for an example, if you've got a house that's worth $350,000 and your loan is $250,000, right? You got $250,000, you've got $100,000 in there. That's just sitting that you could use. And if you're not going to go somewhere for 5 years, you want that money to make money? Of course. Right? You want that money to make money. So put it to work. And you can borrow at a low. You know, this is the whole borrow low. So if you can get you a HELOC for about 6 to 8%, and then you lend it at 12, how much work are you doing to make that, 4 to 6%? Not a whole lot, right? I might have to go out to my mailbox and see if there's a check there, or I might have to look on my bank app to see if the check came in. That's all the work that I'm doing here. Of course, we have on the end retirement accounts. You're going to talk about self-directed IRAs. I think, Bob, did we have somebody talk about self-directed IRAs in here before? Fantastic investment vehicle, but you have to put it to work. It doesn't work for you. You have to put it to work. Solo 401ks, you lend tax-free or tax-deferred, and it's perfect for passive income. I used a 401k loan from my W-2 because I pulled it out to buy another property for that one, and I paid myself 7% for taking out a loan for myself.
Good job.
That's not bad, right? Not bad. So I'm paying myself money for the money that I already have.
And making money off of it.
And making money off my money. So it's just not bad. Let me dispel a myth. How many millionaires do we have in here? Like, if you're not afraid to raise your hand, have a millionaire. Going out, you got the dollar gun. We have one. I'm part of BNI, and whenever somebody makes a million, still have the dollar gun. Don't throw it out there. She knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, you don't need to be a millionaire to get started in private lending. That's just false. It's just false. You just need a structured way, some capital, and a secure path to it. Maybe some mentorship along the way. Somebody's done it before. I'm not saying. Bob talks about $25,000 mentors. You don't need one of those. You just need somebody. Hey, have you done this before? And that's where that goes. All this makes sense right here for these 3 ways. Now, there's a ton more ways to fund a loan. How can you get started? Education, education, education. Learn the basics first. Understand how private lending it works. That's the big one. And the key documents that are involved. We talked about some of those key documents earlier. We're going to get them one more time. Vet the borrower and the property. It's like for my private money lenders, they get a property report that has comps, photos, demographic information, that kind of information. It's not just, hey, here's an address. Give me some money. Right? So you want to make sure you're vetting the property and the borrower. Checking into who they are. We talked about the proper documentation, that promissory note, deed of trust, title, insurance. Start small. Hey, if you got $500,000, fantastic. Start small. 30. And get used to the process. You begin with that HELOC, the cash, the self-directed IRA, and stay conservative. After you've done all that, see there's this progression here? After you've done all that, then you get out there and you get your trusted relationship that you have going. Your partner with somebody who's experienced with as an investment, you know, or a group, or somebody who's going to protect your capital. I am risk, you know, I've been in security since my early 20s. To say that I have a risk mitigation mindset would be an understatement. I'm in my 50s. I've been doing it for a hot minute. I've been in martial arts since I was 18. To say I don't think about defense would be an understatement. So these things align with me together. But just start with education, stay within a structure, and build trust. Key takeaways. So, what is private lending built on? Who can tell me? Trust. Relationships. Who else? What's private lending built on? Where's my private lenders out?
Assets.
Yeah, okay. But is it built off, do you want it built off of an institution? Is private lending, true private lending built off of an institution?
No.
No, you're another set of zeros in the bank. Okay. Short-term lending, we're talking about that builds velocity. Can help you get where you're going fast, right? But it might not help you stay there. So whereas long-term lending, that stability, that steady lane that we're going for. And you choose what fits your goals. You know, that's really you might want one or the other, or a combination of two things. Safety first from that structure, safety. Promissory note, deed trust, title insurance. Make sure your returns are predictable and secure. So that promissory note, laying out the terms, laying out, you know, when it's coming, when the money's coming. Start small, stay protected, and grow with guidance. You know, begin safely, learn the process, and scale at your pace. You can start with one and then go further. One loan, then 2 loans. Get used to the process. Time to vet everything out. You know, because right now, private lending, if it's done right, it's going to blend security, it's going to blend clarity and consistency. And isn't that what you want in a private lending deal? You know, every time you want those 3 things that come together. Okay. Very good. Next steps. Well, what's the next steps? Connect and ask questions. You can message me, you can email me. I'm happy to share what I know, because that was the purpose of tonight. I just want to share what I learned about money and how to make it work, and how private lending in the right way can help you out, protect your capital. We can go through whatever goals you might have, the safety basics, you know, protecting yourself. We can look at a sample deal, right? Live deals. I'll just have to redact the person's information on it. I'm not going to give that away, right? And make sure it's properly structured. We can do a Zoom call. I like Zoom. I'll do it in person. I'll whip out my laptop, sit down with you, and side by side in the local coffee shop. It's probably going to be O'Hara's, because, you know, again, I said I was part of BNI. I guess you got to support your fellow members there. And we go through, you know, walk through a design. What are you looking at? What's your goals? Because again, education has got to come first in anything you do. That's one of the things Bob has really honed or talked about or enforced the years that I've been coming, is education, right? Relationships next, and opportunity is going to happen. The opportunity will just happen once you've got those first 2 together. Okay. You might think that was the end. My wife asked me, she's like, "Who are those people?" I said, "Well, those are the infomercial." It's just, well, wait, there's more. All right. I do have a course. Well, he's like, of course he has a course. It's called the Private Lender's Playbook. Yeah, I'm going to take one down, pass it around. And it's how you're going to talk about it. You can have the money work harder than you do. How to structure, secure, and profit from, go this way, profit from real estate backed private lending. I got to get another one here also. And doing it the right way. I'll make this a little easier. Do you mind passing one along? Thank you. That way I can keep on respecting everybody's time. So, done the right way. It's first class. This is all on Zoom. The first class will be this Monday, 17th at 7 p.m. Be about an hour. Unless you got a lot of questions. Right. It's going to be 4 weeks, so 4 Mondays. Let's say. It'll be recorded, so you can go back to it and reference. And we'll share it with you so you have it. Normally I would charge $99 for that, but because you're either A, you're an attendance tonight, or you're a Midlands REIA member, it's $49. Now, I'm not keeping a penny of that. I don't want it. I just want to make sure we can give back. So every dollar that comes to the this course is going right back into the Habitat for Humanity. Because, we talked about building wealth a lot, but what's all the building wealth if we can't help people along the way? Okay. What if while you're in the class, you're learning how to lend properly and build your wealth, you're helping somebody else build their dream and get into their house. So this is not for me, but that $49 goes right, going to go right to the Habitat for Humanity. And I do have a small class size, 9, because I want to get to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to have conversations. Let's make it personal. I'm not in the big classes. 9. That is the max. Somebody says 10, I'll see you next quarter. Right? See you next quarter. So there's some information there for that. You're like, well, what am I going to learn? Okay, week 1, Monday night. You're going to learn the wealth flow mindset, which is how private lending fits into your financial goals. We're going to talk about risk, understanding that, security. How to think like a bank and not a borrower. I'm not going to say everybody, but most people are, you think about a borrower, right? But you got to think like an asset-driven bank. Okay? Week 2, we're going to get into structuring the loans. How to write a note that protects you. What to verify before your funding, and setting the terms that create win-wins. That's week 2. That's a week 2 Monday at 7 p.m. I make sure I stop before the holidays get crazy. Week 3 is that protection layer. We're talking about a mortgage, deed, trust, title insurance, collateral checks. We're going to talk about all that. How to secure your lien properly in any state, right? Paperwork with walkthrough examples. And week 4, when we're wrapping it up, there's going to be questions along the way, I'm sure of it. Collecting payments the smart way. Right? Tracking the performance of where your borrower's doing. And building with confidence. And we'll go over how you can grow from one loan to a portfolio. Again, we'll start with time. Okay. How am I doing on time, Bob?
7:47.
Okay, doing good. I timed myself for 30 minutes. I was still trying to keep that. Private lenders playbook. This is kind of oversight what you're going to learn at the end of the course. I want you to be able to know how you can fund the deal safely, how to earn steady income, and sleep well. It's important that you can sleep well, to me at least. Knowing your investment is protected, because you want to lend smarter, safer, and do it with structure. The way a bank does it, because we all want to be what?
The bank.
The bank. Exactly. My contact information at the end. Let's see. There we go. So here's a QR code for you to scan for the Private Lenders Playbook. Get more information. My free gift to you tonight is going to be the Private Lender Protections Checklist. You scan that QR code. If your phone does not work for the QR code, you can feel free to, my other contact information is you can text me or email me. Sorry for the long email address. I hadn't figured out how to get it shorter yet. But that is what it is. Again, I'm Jason Elkins, Carolina Capital Home Buyers, and really just want to share with you today, and of course encourage you to sign up and learn more detail about the private lender. So thank you again for tonight, and thank you, Bob, for being here. I do have a sign-up sheet up front as well.
I have a question.
Yes, Q&A, sorry.
Outside of the course, are there any other books that you recommend to read for just taking the track of education? Journals, books, articles?
For private lending, I really didn't have one written down, but I can send you one.
Okay.
I can send you a few. I mean, it's structured. For me, it's structured. I would say the most education is learning your documents. When I'm learning documentation, learn the flow, learn the process. Books are great, we get stuck in them. Sometimes they're great for general education, but the documents and learning those are important. Use ChatGPT. I do every day. You know, but don't trust ChatGPT to the extent that hey, it knows all, because it only knows what it's been put into, right? And garbage in, garbage out on ChatGPT. Okay? Any other questions?
I have a question. The first one is, when you invest as a lender, are you going in with other lenders?
No.
Okay, so it's just yours.
It's a one-to-one deal. This is where the syndication, I think, what Bob was trying to hit. Syndication's got some regulation around it, right? For the longer term, or even the shorter term, you're one-to-one deals. You're like, I'm gonna rehab a house, I'm gonna get my lien against this house, my mortgage against this house, so that's the collateral I have.
Okay.
If I'm doing a longer term, 60 month, again, it's the house. And that's, in those longer term loans, you want cash producing assets already, right? That's what they're set up to do.
And you said the minimum was 30,000?
30,000. That's where I spend a lot of my time. I spend a lot of my time in that lower end range, because I buy houses out in the Midwest. I'll buy them between $30,000 and $40,000. But I just don't buy a regular house. There's a lot I go through to get that at the same time. There's lots of them. Any other questions? Yes?
Have you had a situation when you lost your money?
I think I'll.
You just started money?
I haven't had where I've lost, because I spend my money on the longer term side of it versus the shorter term side of it. I know Bob, you lost money on short term money.
I lost enough money to teach you how not to lose money.
There you go. So there is no such thing as a risk-free anything. I don't know. I don't care what it is. There's nothing in life that's risk-free. Right?
After the 5-year period, does it refinance into
That's a fantastic question. That's a fantastic. So I talked about a self-directed IRA and be able to recycle capital. So what if, and this is a bigger number, what if I could take $120,000 and double it, more than double it in 5 years? Who would do that? Who would do that? Okay. You know how to do that? You want me to explain how to do that? Do I have time, Bob? Sure. Okay, so in my world, the one I spend most of my time in, $120,000 equals 4 properties. Okay, that's roughly 4 properties. So I've already got my private lender that's got a self-directed IRA. I've got a couple up in Charlotte area right now. Her husband is a real estate investor, and she's a fitness instructor, and this is the path that they're on. You know, so they get those properties. So as the monthly payments, in, let's say we buy 4. Now I'm paying back $667.33 per property. And you get all that back in. So by the end of year 1, guess what we're doing? That capital is being put back into that self-directed IRA account. We're going out and we're buying another one. Yeah, we're buying another property. So that adds, there's another $667.33 added to this, now you have 5. Now the year 2, I buy 2 more properties. So now there's more coming in. And by year 3, I'm getting 4 more properties, because I'm recycling capital is coming back into that account. And because it's a self-directed IRA, are we being charged any tax on it? Only happens if it ever leaves that account. Okay? So by the end of that 5th year, we've recycled capital, we've bought more properties. So now our account has more than doubled. You can keep going. So we talked about building, starting slow and building. It's like a train. Most trains start, and they get momentum. This is how you get momentum.
Quick question.
Yeah.
In other words, you started out with 2 houses, and then
You can do-
double it to like.
You can do it with 2 or 3 that can double your portfolio like that, double your account. But the bigger money you put in, the bigger money you get out, right?
So these are rentals.
No, these are not rentals. So, because I go in, I find a deal, I was telling somebody, I said, I get deals every day. When I was having my one-to-one on Tuesday morning, somebody was asking me, it's like, oh, where do you get the deals from? I was like, well, before I went to bed, Monday night, I had a text. Somebody had a deal. When I woke up, before I came to the one-to-one meeting, there was another deal in my phone. So deals are not a problem at all. But I'll go out and find the deal, gotta meet the man, and then I'll bring in a private lender. We'll close on that deal. Right? The money never comes to me. It goes to, in some states, it's like in here, it's a real estate attorney, it's gonna put an escrow account, and then it's dispersed to buy the house. In other states, they use title companies. Same thing, tomato, for that. And then from there, got a house, right? I bought a house through my company. I go out and owner finance that house for 30 years. I don't make a lot of money off of a house for 5 years until I pay off my private money. I'm in it for the long game. That's where I'm at. Does that answer your question?
What's the average cost of the houses?
Between 30 and 40.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's the average. You can go higher, you can go lower. You go lower. Yeah. And these are in certain markets. Yeah, I haven't been able to make it work in Columbia because Columbia is doing this. Right? Columbia is on a high growth cycle. So it's only certain markets. Most of the Midwest right now.
So if I got the process right, you go and you buy the house, do whatever repairs necessary to get on.
I don't repair a house.
Okay, so it's turnkey from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And a buyer buys it, and the first 5 years of the income goes to the investor, and then you take forever how long you want the rest of the 25 years term.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly right. So for me, I'm helping out the lender because they're getting money off of their money returns, and I'm making sure I've got reserves. Because every smart business person is going to have some kind of reserves because you're going to have turnover. It doesn't matter whether or not they are owner financing or not. You're going to have turnover. You're going to have evictions.
So you're seller financing?
Yep, I'm seller financing. Yep, I'm seller financing. Any other questions?
On the RTOs, when you acquire those properties for like $20,000, $30,000, and if they do need work, is that something that the the RTO person that's part of the deal, you can rent and own this property from you, but you are responsible for repairs, taxes, like how does that work?
So I have two kinds of buyers that I'm doing seller financing. They are what I'll call tenant buyers, and then I have investor buyers. Okay, I don't put money into a property because I'm the bank, right? I'm the bank. So they come in, and the tenant buyers, they'll fix it up. It's livable, right? It's not. Hey, it's not the new development down the street. A lot of these things are 1940s, 1950s kind of houses. They're older houses, but they're livable. And somebody can go in and swing a hammer and put some stuff up. They can make it more livable in time and make it their own, because they want that set payment that's flat, right? Because rent is always doing what? Always doing this. So they jump on these houses. The first one of these I closed it in a day. The next one was a week. That don't happen a lot in real estate. Most of the stuff sits there, but they want to get in there. Tenant buyers, they might be Section 8. I mean, not investor buyers. My investor buyers are in Section 8. So they want to make money on the spread, right? That's what they want to do. Now they will go in there and they'll fix it up a little bit, and they'll put some paint down, maybe some flooring, just to make it rentable, right? And they'll bring in Section 8, and they'll make money off of that spread. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I usually take care of the taxes and insurance, and I just fold that in into the payment, right? Mm-hmm. So their payment may go up a little bit depending on taxes and insurance. But it's like an escrow account.
So you're still basically the owner until it's fully paid off after the
Yeah, and then once it's fully paid off, they'll get a year's deed.
Got it.
A company will hold the deed.
Do you use the servicing center for your payments?
I will, but not yet. Yeah, not yet. I've got a magic number in my head. When it gets too, when things get too painful, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
How often do you get refinanced out of the property?
Not that often. Not that often. Most people they're gonna hang on to it.
You got 12%?
Yeah, they're gonna hang on to it.
Well, your safety net too is if you've got a good pay history, you could flip that. No.
Any other questions? If you think of one later, I hope you got a picture of that up there, or I hope that you went to the Google form that I made last night.
It works.
It works?
It works.
Okay, it works. And you reach out to me, and I'm happy. Again, I'm here to share. All right? Thank you.
So when we did the Google form, are you gonna send us the link to the checklist and the playbook, the access and playbook?
Yes. I'll send you the playbook. That's a free gift. And then if you want to sign up for that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I even have a sign-up sheet for those who are for phone work.
Okay, good to see you. I saw you downtown one time.
I work for them for the tenant buyer, probably their price. I explained that yesterday to somebody. He looked at me. He's like, "Why aren't more people doing that?" Yeah, people who want to be a process. Who want to learn more. I do these classes every quarter.
Yeah.
Because especially during holidays, I get, like I said, 9 people. Gosh,
You knew so much about
it's a conversation.
Thank you so much.
It'll be Zoom, it'll be on Zoom. It'll be like this first one coming up, at 7 p.m. on the 17th, this Monday. So it'll be that one, it'll be 3 Mondays in a row. Yeah, it's cool. I know the people, I was like, you can do a 4-hour class. I was like, on Saturday morning. 4 hours on a Saturday morning. Yeah, but a 7 o'clock on a Monday night. But it will be recorded. Yeah, for him. Yeah, there's a QR code, but the Google Form for translation, and I'll reach out to you with all the details. It's recorded, so you can sign up over there, or you can use the QR code you saw here. I want to make sure that everybody can do whatever they want to do. Because some people are technology savvy, some people are not. That ain't got a problem.
Okay, stay
I'm ready for the day. Any
It's covering one room.
And
It's a one.
that's all and then,
While you guys are talking, I'll get my hand. Just if you want to talk to me, then I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Don't you guys want to talk a little bit more about? Right.
So we have, if you had multiple homes, you could zone it for like a short term.
I don't know what it has to mean.
part of my group got people who do.
I live in like this. I'm sure people have.
We do. And I was we did a research up there, we do the same things in here.
All short work.
Yeah, so we actually, so we bound it back and forth.
It's tough, the numbers, like these, $30,000 property here.
It's burned out. I've seen
But
them.
when you get out in certain areas, the rent is still.
And then we put another cell phone on.
Yeah.
Housing market.
We just put two of those.
So I got
There's
four spaces.
area.
It's
about that.
Exactly.
One guy had a workshop, so
All right. So then
that's where it is.
I got you. What do you about?
That's the thing. I can get
Is
into
it
the market.
finished or is it?
And then if they schools, I'm just gonna sell the property.
Some of it's finished, some of it. The one that's, I won't heat it, not finished.
Okay, so, I wanna make sure that property, let's say it's valued at $30,000.
Right.
There's probably $30,000 below that, so you wanna be able to sell it, get your investment.
At least that, right, at least that, right, okay.
Or for $100,000 wall, yeah, that $30,000, that's in there, it's a little white center bar.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, just like above the door. Like if you're
Don't have to worry about this. That's it, that's like.
If it's not a big resort. So everything is there. I know. Yeah. So it's not. How many big space usually get?
I'm telling you what, they use
All that.
always does is keep it secret because the connection most of the time. So when it's done, it's so
They're still using the cooling process.
Right.
Wait,
It's gotta be done illegal.
Exactly.
But at the same time,
So how does it usually go? Do a bid in most people's houses?
It don't be nice. The only thing is the conversation is on the summertime, is on the conversation.
oh, no. There's usually long.
When they say I'm not having any industrial, they got no face place.
That's what I'm talking about, the face plate.
Yeah, that's all. And you just got a little face plate.
It's like,
Now, how can I do that for both pools?
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You have a long system on it.
I mean, and roughly, some part of the market.
Has like 4 different zones on it, so you can use different face plates for each different room.
Oh.
Four to six, that's, four to six, four to six.
I may still have
Some guy has like a property.
Let's take pictures outside of today.
He got no capital, he got no capital on it.
Right, okay.
And that's like, well, the investor buyer, people in my community that
Okay.
they are looking, they need, because they want to, that 5 years, they want to pay the property.
Right.
So that they can do it.
As opposed to one of them.
Okay.
But I was doing it.
There's always going to be something that has to be done to it.
Okay.
But again,
Multi-zone ministry.
Yeah, it's hard.
and I do keep, if you live in,
That's what that is, that's the
find
other,
them.
that's the other part to go to. That's the
Later,
new side.
Yes.
What I'm showing you,
I
if
can
you
get
got
off
one
balance,
zone,
so
you
I
can
have
get
to do
it
a certain pace.
those. So that can get
A little trade off, so it's like, one person
Yeah,
over here is like, hey, I got to
I can
deal
get
with it right now, but this property, they want it.
multiple zone.
Yes.
It's like, you know, now.
Okay.
I have to deal,
Yeah.
he had it, so we trade off.
Having
We want to
multiple zones.
keep that equilibrium.
Sure.
Because I'm on that show.
Right, right, right.
Team,
Right.
you know, going out there.
I mean, Michigan should make a lot of those ones. I just want you to know.
So then, I was at the home building, okay, since I'm here.
You start walking down the steps, when you go walking down the steps,
Then I'm like, where are we going? So you're primarily,
So
it is
you have to
private
do it.
and
Exactly.
it's
You try to get us to hide.
but I want to be a lender, so I'm a private lender, so we would find the property as opposed to, now,
We try to hide it like some kind of.
both sides, but
Sometimes they
primarily.
have to know people, what they do, they do
That's where I'm
you know, like, you ain't gonna like crown them.
With, probably I've done some but
See, this is
have
what you
that
call
opportunity, you know, a little down the road.
Yeah.
Right now,
That would be perfect.
That's
more
more
like,
and you see, I did
it
that.
turned.
All of that, that's what.
Kind of
But if you have a city, I'm trying to.
I see one and reduce the cost of that. I don't have one, something like that.
this is my daughter, by the way, this is my oldest daughter. She's here taking pictures tonight. I'm gonna show video clips at her house.
Is he,
She got an eye taken growing up, so. We have, we out of town. And my two girls, you know, my son now, one is growing.
And see how they did.
I mean, what's the, like, the cost of
Two
doing
bedroom,
this?
1.5, 2 townhouse. I got a little. And that's the guy who's bringing something. 2026. Those are big things.
Because you gotta have it.
You can guarantee them.
I'd rather look at it.
No problem.
Very well.
Oh, and when you felt, I keep talking about the meeting, I was like,
And you live in up there at 12?
I'm seeing what we talked about.
Can't wait for the course. So we got to that point, but not to exercise. Why not me?
Yeah, I'll
But
get all that, make sure you're all
And I'm
I just my little daughter living. Yeah. That's my daughter. Okay, this is Bob.
That's why I
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Bob got to keep my mom. Like, I know you.
And I was like, oh, Mom told me about Midlands REIA, so I need to come and listen tonight, so, yeah, you're good man.
Did you guys say? Did you guys say?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know, the bank will use somebody that, you know, they turn around and sell for a different way.
Yeah.
But I want to well, that's the thing with it. Yeah, tell you. Yeah, I like that.
Whatever she don't do. I'm gonna serve you.
Oh, which one? I appreciate that.
It's the election.
Oh, it's here.
It's a new,
Gotcha. Yeah.
whoever Friendsgiving is coming.
Okay.
Oh, it's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Rome. Yeah, it was one of the weird ones that we like.
Oh, well, that's good. Wow.
The largest.
So we hit the cash flow. We find that that's like.
That's
No,
awesome.
I got one that's like,
It is. All right, well, nice to meet you. Hope to see you. All right. See you tomorrow.
I have a key lock.
I did, okay. Did you get some?
I
Yeah, one for Charlie.
You pay yourself back. That's the good thing about it. Plus, you know, it's better than one to bank.
Bobby, you need help with anything?
No, get out of here. Go to bed.
Get out of here.
Shoot, get, fly.
Oh, no, that's good. I'm not going anywhere.
Cause, I got a decent,
Oh,
oh, you good, you know, if I don't get it tonight, then I wouldn't
Here,
do
you want-
it, we can have our meetings on Wednesday.
I just never expect that anyone.
I
never did. I never carried. I drove a car.
Hopefully I can sum up this class.
Okay.
If I have meetings, I'm telling you.
Jump in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I didn't remember the last
Are
one.
you saying, do you use my information, stick it to an
Oh, no. I am not.
Making it fruit for it.
Okay.
You bring it down a certain amount.
You're looking
You can tell them, hey,
You have a
we
membership.
at that loan amount, and then that'll lower your. Payment.
Yeah.
Let's say if I
And this is where.
got the rate down low, but the market rate is still where my mortgage is, but I have all this equity that I paid out. Instead of getting a new loan, I just tell them, hey, you can put that.
That's exactly,
that
you can't stroll back.
and then you won't pay.
I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time.
They won't do that.
They won't do it on the government loan, but on the business, they will.
Oh, okay. Might do a Freddie Mac.
They won't do it. Cause
Well, yeah.
Catching down here.
one, I think because their, security
Yeah.
at a certain rate, so they can't.
That makes sense, yeah.
They don't mess.
I don't know if I can, I would not do those, but then sometimes it is what it is, you go with it, you have to work with it.
But I had such a good rate that I was like, well, I'll just borrow it, but I would at least immediately knock my loan down to a certain rate. So my payments were low. Then I took some money from investments, knocked that down a little bit. I didn't take as much as I needed, so I just gave it back, all the extra that I had. And now I'm at a man. Extra, I got the rate as if I paid 5 years of extra fees.
Wow.
Well, you said we gonna read it to.
And I got it forever now.
So that's not.
For the next 30 years instead of.
Well, you want 15 years.
Yeah. Well, that's
the goal.
Well, yeah, now, if I can do it the way I want to do it, I want to make extra payments every quarter.
Yeah.
If you do that for 15 years, 4 extra payments a year, it's earning the 30 years.
And I'm sitting there.
15.
Well, that's,
Think
yeah.
about.
The bank making money off of it.
That's
That's what they got.
You have a good day, okay?
You too, drive safely.
And you're going to get even crazier than that 50-year thing.
When I get a chance, I'm gonna call you sometime tomorrow so I can do that.
Okay.
Take care.
All right, you do. Good to see you.
Okay. You know, they recently been floating the idea of
50-year what, mortgage?
50-year mortgage.
Okay, just in case.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. They paying what, 10 to 20 years on a vehicle?
I think when you do the math,
Find it.
you actually pay for your house like 3 times.
Well, yeah. Well, you already doing that on 30 years for a little car.
For at least a double on your
Yeah, yeah.
Almost a triple.
But you know, like I said, some people do that with cars and stuff, that's crazy.
Yeah, nah. Anything over 60 is ridiculous, in my opinion. I tried to do 36.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
you're in
Anyway,
there.
That's if I don't buy it
Let me
outright.
make
Yeah,
sure.
well,
Okay.
I just, 60 months, you said 5 years? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's about as far as you want to go.
When you talking about a vehicle that's 100,000 plus, yeah, that's what I'm saying, 10, 18 years, 20 years. You may stretch it out. Oh, yeah, we'll give you, make a payment for you, pay for that next 40 years.
Well,
I do pay for that car about 3, 4, 5 times.
well, I leased a whoop-de-doo car from an electric vehicle.
Uh-huh.
They had such a hard time selling it. And that was MSRP was over 100, but I got it for like 500 a month. So,
500 a month,
yeah, that's like for 2 years. So,
at least.
yeah.
Did you write it up?
Here you are.
If I used it for my business, I
That's
could.
what I'm saying. Well, you need to.
I'm getting.
Well, I work from home, so I don't drive nowhere.
I'll find something.
It'd be hard to justify.
I'll say you can go out once in a while, do something.
Oh,
Pick up a real good.
My business is diabetes, so it'd be.
Well,
Now,
I'm saying-
when I was in DC, I
So
did
the
do
next one could
it,
be,
and I was,
let's
I probably write off
break
about
down because I'm-
$7,000 a year.
That's what I'm saying, you don't have to be, I mean, it's like Sparks, but you still write it off. I mean, that's better than not.
I just don't have any no business interest to use the car for.
Okay.
Cause I'm home 8 hours a day every day. There's nowhere to go.
I see what you do. Troubleshoot.
I'm like cybersecurity.
Just
Oh,
S.C.
okay.
Jackman?
I work for,
S. Jackman, got it.
I don't know if it's military or anything, but Fort Belvoir Hospital used to be at AG Augusta. No, used to be
Fort Ward?
Fort Belvoir in Virginia.
Oh, Virginia, okay.
Yeah, they renamed it to AG Augustus, and so I push out all the security
Someone hacks
patches
your account.
Okay.
and configurations to all the systems in the hospital every month. And push out the operating system.
So are you contract or what?
Yeah. I contract to I'm a sub to a prime.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Got fortunate because I moved down here and I was like, I didn't think they were gonna let me continue on.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, you sure you don't wanna do remote? I said, I'd love to do
Oh,
remote.
yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, so, but, you know, they're gonna redo the contract this year, and I'm not the teaching person on this, so I'm thinking they're gonna drop me, so,
Wow.
I'm trying to prepare just in case I gotta find something down here, come next summer.
Good. Yeah. I got 3 years that I worked at the VA.
Okay.
Maybe if I would work 2 more years, I can get a retirement.
Right here at, in Columbus?
That's been a long time ago. But see, that time is still on the books. Listen, I can get these.
Oh, so you got like 17 years or something, or maybe 27.
No. Well, not VA?
Yeah.
Don't say I did 3. You only need 5 to be vested.
Oh, yeah, you could probably be like, I don't know, you want to be a security guard or nothing?
Nah.
That's the easiest way to be in the
Yeah.
federal government.
Uh-huh.
It's just go to be a security guard for 2 years, call it a day.
We'll see. I'll find something else.
Yeah.
Something that, you
It's
know,
really
like I
tough.
said, all the remote stuff,
Oh,
they
yeah.
pretty much did away with it.
Yeah.
Until, you know, next year it'll be interesting to see, once these idiots finally get over the so-called shutdown, see what shakes out and how it looks. It's like your contract.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, we were fully funded. So
Uh-huh.
every day I went to work, I was get
Uh,
paid. And it's really not over. The CR only goes to January 30th.
yeah.
And so I'm thinking that if they don't get their way in December on that vote, we're gonna be doing this whole thing.
Well, yeah, that's what they said. It's only temporary.
Yeah.
But the thing is, hopefully, the people that need SNAP and these other things, they, you
Okay,
know,
that's fair, that's
they
fair.
won't caught in
Sometimes
limbo.
systems, yeah,
Well, they
I
just
know it's going
now,
crazy,
if
so
they
I'm
approve the
glad.
plan that they're going for, the SNAP benefits
Okay.
will be a year under this CR.
Okay.
The SNAP, there's like 3 programs.
But at least I know, it's okay, at least I know that I have a username and a password, and I'll figure it out, it'll be fine. Thank you.
Text me regularly.
What did you do before you,
Okay.
I'm retired military and retired state government.
Okay, I'm not, well, not retired, okay.
Bother me if you don't.
Okay, got it, I will do that, thanks for that, I appreciate that. Thanks, have a good evening.
What about you?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night, gentlemen, drive safely.
All right.
You know, if I would have went active, I wish I would have did a couple of my buddies, they would do the same thing, they try to get it.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
I'm not gonna keep y'all long.
Well, no, man. You hang out as long as you want. Turn the lights